liking blank to win the 50k cash prize.
We all know who this is. We all know who this is. Spill it, just spill it. They've been plagued by the storyline. This narrative could kill them.
India are only liking Ovi to win the 50k cash prize. Obviously, like, it's not
About you. You know it's not true, but it's not nice to hear it.
I'm actually going to be female. She's bored. Molly-Mae of faking her love for Tommy. You don't think I'm bored, do you? No. I'm type and it's not genuine, it's his best friend. Do you want? Well, apparently I'm not genuine, so your friends are getting strongly worded.
When we get
I'm dead. Inject it, Belle, please, twice. This is just boring now. What else is there to talk about? Deep it.
Tomorrow night, is someone's head about to turn?
What's up, bro? I feel something's on your mind.
I feel like over the past couple of days I've had a few good conversations with India. I'm finding myself looking forward to like bumping into her in the villa and having a conversation with her. And like, it's just made me like sit back and think, you know,
got a bad feeling.
I'm actually done. I'm dead. I'm done with this show. I've had enough. They tried me. They thought that this could happen. You want to tell me that they have a week left, and this is what they're doing. A week before the final, and this is what they're doing. Get out of your damn mind. Come down to this damn show, man. I told them to inject it, and I'm in the damn hospital. Friends, we have this teaser now that comes at the end, and I find it hilarious how the teaser, that 20-second teaser, was better than the whole episode, where, you know, Jordan could be fake. Jordan, what the hell is that about? Like,
it's just made me like sit back and think, you know,
got a bad feeling.
I don't understand that. I don't get it. Like, why would he do that for? He's bringing a girl around the whole damn villa doing one marathon, and then asked to be his girlfriend and everything, and they've been together for the last couple of weeks and been through so much, and now he's like, you know what, I might want to jump on things with India. And I find that to be so shocking. Like, just to be so weird and so dumb. Like, you could at least come third in this show. But the reason why I think he's doing this, and the reason why I think he's jumping to India, is because twice in a row he was in the bottom two with Anna. So he knows that somewhere either they don't like him, or they don't like Anna, or they don't like him with Anna. So with that thought process, I think this is why he's trying to jump ship to the point where he could probably increase, you know, some form of popularity. But this is my issue with Jordan. This is my issue with him. He doesn't have a likability factor. Like, perhaps it's editing, but there's no likability factor with this guy. Like, when I think of the show, he's not the one that comes into my head. It's like, no matter what my man does, by default, he is literally team furniture. By default, he's a table. By default, he's a chair. He's a beanbag. This is just what he is. Like, there's nothing he can do that can make me think, wow, he's actually a really funny, nice, interesting character. I feel like he's just plain Jane, bland nonsense, and it's just team furniture. There's no popularity. As soon as you leave the show, you'll just be washed out. Nobody will remember you. You're not even in the top 5 of memorable people from this villa. Like, it's just like, and that in itself is an issue. So that really means he's kind of doomed for failure. I don't think a lot of people like him anyhow. The fact that this whole Anna thing's going on, I feel like maybe the producers just said to him, say something like this because we're scarce for content, like something like that as well. We have to think of that perspective. But I feel like if this breaks down and gets far worse, then literally inject it, because I'm ready. On the hospital bed, you can inject it all into me, beloved, because I am ready for this whole Anna, Jordan, India kind of triangle absolute mess breakdown. I am here for this. This is what this week needs to be centered on, because nothing else is going on in this villa. This Chris and Harley stuff simply does not do enough for me, because either Harley or Chris are individuals that we don't know well enough. Yes, Chris's humor has allowed him to build a bridge with us as individuals, and he has become quite popular, but still, time is of the essence. Time is an important factor in the show, and it hasn't been there for long enough, especially Harley, although I feel like she dealt with that situation very well. Let me know what your thoughts are on this review. Let me know what your thoughts are on what has taken place with host Anna and Jordan stuff. I feel like that's just taken center stage, which is irritating to me because that wasn't involved in this episode at all. Let me know what your thoughts are on Molly-Mae, which is why I'm going to try and center my, review on the Molly-Mae stuff, on the Harley stuff, on the Chris stuff, because this is what happened in this episode. I'm not really going to dive deep into that teaser yet. Not yet, child, but I'm just gonna let you know that tomorrow we are all gonna be diving deep into that whole mess, and I can't wait for that. But right now, let's put that in a box and leave it there and let it unwrap itself, because I feel like we need to focus on this whole Molly-Mae being in trouble, Curtis being, what he is, and the fact that Harley was dealing with stuff in a very, mature manner. So during the challenge, Molly-Mae seems to be the recurring culprit who got a lot of drink spilled in her face. So perhaps a lot of people are now beginning to find out about her game, if there is one.
I still think I'm fake at this point, then what hope have I got?
Hey guys, it's Morali. Hope you guys are doing well today. If you haven't already, click that button and please subscribe, and do follow me on my Instagram, Murad_Morali. I'd massively appreciate it. The latter half of this episode I feel like was better, more enjoyable. I do feel the first half was a bit slow, and I feel like they are, scarce for good content, let's just say, because we do have a week left and not much is really going on. But that challenge, I feel like, was probably the only good-ish challenge that we are going to get this year. I don't think we want to get anything else. None of these mean tweets. The tweets that we got weren't that great anyways, but we haven't got any mean tweets, or we're not going to have the lie test either. But we have this one where it seems like Molly-Mae is the one where even the contestants feel that these articles are about.
Blank.
You know I love you.
Bored. Molly-Mae of faking her love for Tommy. You don't think I'm bored, do you?
No.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, it's a shame, but perhaps this could be a harsh truth, or maybe it's nothing but a weak fable. Everything about how she's faking her likeness for Maura and Curtis.
About that, I'm fucking livid because it's not true. Maura's my best friend in here. Curtis is my boyfriend's best friend. Why on earth would I not be happy for them?
I wouldn't be surprised if she is, because lest we forget, it does sound like it's many, many years ago, but Maura was trying to steal Molly's man. And that kind of scenario, it was a lot of friction between Maura and Molly. Now granted, these two obviously have moved on from it, but it also makes sense if Molly is carrying around some kind of baggage of dislikeness for Maura because of what she was doing, and perhaps behind her she does feel like she might be a bit of a threat again, because Molly-Mae, as she admitted in this episode, is somebody who thinks a lot, gets very paranoid, and overthinks so many situations.
Molly-Mae is pretending to be happy for Maura and Curtis, claim Love Island fans.
I'm pissed.
So I wouldn't be surprised if she had at the back of her head and she's just faking this likeness stuff. That theory could be plausible, or perhaps it's just, people have found that the notion of seeing Molly-Mae as fake is popular. A lot of people would like to think about that just possible outcome. So because that possible outcome attracts attention, people are going to lumber anything else to it as well, like a magnet. So perhaps Molly-Mae is being completely genuine, and she's one of the most genuine girls in there. But the notion of her being fake does attract attention, therefore it's going to garner so much kind of just even more attention about this whole situation. Then the fact that she's faking it with Tommy, and she's incredibly upset that she asks Tommy straight away, she's like, I'm not faking anything, right? And he's like, yeah. So he kind of reassures her. This is all Tommy does, just reassuring Molly, which I feel like is a good trait for a partner to have for sure. But I feel like this has been going on for so long now. People have been thinking Molly-Mae is fake from the day she came in. And I think it's because of the social media influence kind of tag, number one. Number two, I feel like sometimes she does slip up. And number three, I just feel like they just don't seem to have a massive likability factor, that they don't. Like Danny and Jack they were the front runners, and they had a massive likability factor. But Molly-Mae, who are the front runners this year, they don't in comparison to them. They don't in comparison to Amber and Kem. We have to see it as the front runners. Amber and Kem were always the front runners. So were Danny and Jack. And you know, the front runners here, Molly-Mae, are completely different to these two. Their likability factor isn't as high. So who knows? Because that game was quite scary in relation to the fact that Molly-Mae kept on getting a drink in her face, and it was all correct. So perhaps, as I said, my predictions of perhaps her games being exposed was really brought to fruition and light in this episode. Then, you know, Ovi gets upset because the fact that India may just like him for the money and everything, and may just like him to win, and maybe you're fake, maybe her game is fake. I don't really think her game was fake. I never got that, you know, intention from her. But obviously, Ovi now seems to be very worried because he feels like, you know, during his basketball career, girls are always on him and he gets a bit suspect. And I'm just like, I'm getting a bit suspect because I feel like you're overdoing that. I feel like you're constantly saying it now, and I feel like it's just a bit like, okay, like you've said it once, but you just keep on saying it to a lot of people. But I just find that a bit weird. I don't know why, I just personally do. We then have this whole kind of like, you know, Curtis being the biggest game player in the villa. This was obviously attached to what he did to Amy, and what he did to Amy was so bad that he's always going to have this game player kind of label on him until he leaves the villa. Point blank period. I don't think this was directly attributed to him and Maura. I feel like at the same time, I wouldn't say Maura was convenient for him because he did have two girls to choose from, Maura and Francesca. So it's not as if Maura was there and he was swirling her, it was the other way. So I do feel like, I don't think he's playing the biggest game in there. I feel like he was playing a game with Amy. I think he is a tad more genuine with Maura, and at the same time, I feel like obviously eyes are on the prize. All of them are playing games. We keep forgetting it's a game show, but at the same time, authenticity can also be seen in this show as it has in past seasons, and I'm not really seeing it with many of these people and individuals. Amber and Greg seem to be in the limelight. They were quite, you know, safe. I mean, not in the limelight, but there were obviously ones about Amber and Ovi seem to be having sparks together, and they should be well together. And obviously, I feel like, again, it's too little too late. We all wanted that. Perhaps if that seed was planted a couple of weeks ago by the public to them, then maybe we would have seen something, but now I think it's just a little too late. Harley and Chris was just an absolute idiot for what he was doing. I understand his intention that he was playing it for the game, he was playing it for how perceptions, for how people would see it, but at the same time, he didn't think, which he happily admitted, like your girl standing right next to you, and you just treat her like a just mug. And I'm glad that Harley actually dealt with that in a very proper and full manner. I didn't expect that from her. The way she turned around the argument with such swiftness, I feel like was so effective when she was like, how would you have felt if I said that about me and Ovi? Damn, because it's a very good point. And he couldn't say anything, Chris, because, you know, she was right. She was completely right. You can't, like, it would have made him feel a bit, you know, annoyed. Perhaps he wouldn't have overreacted as much, but I feel like they've ended now. She's ended it. Perhaps she knows her worth. I was a bit surprised, and I guess she's probably one of the most authentic girls in there, because if, you know, she knows it's a week away, she knows if she patterns it up and, you know, is with Chris, then maybe they have a chance. They won't, but maybe they'll have a chance. But she ignores all of that. She's like, you know what, I'm done with it, and she just walks off. She walks away. We even have Belle, who's upset. Belle is irritated because with Anton, we don't really see Belle kind of interacting with Anton in the situation or dealing with or talking about it, but I love how straight up she is. She's a character who has really grown on me. I didn't expect this at all, like to like Belle, but I feel like just her natural personality, just and the aggression that she has really has just kind of, you know, made us naturally be interested in her, because sometimes I feel like this show does become scarce for content. So, you know, sometimes Belle's confrontations do help to save the show, and I feel like Harley and Chris, that conversation was very interesting as well. Do you guys think India is playing a game? Do you think India is genuine for Ovi? I don't think anybody in there is genuine for Ovi but Amber, but unfortunately Amber and Ovi just aren't going to be like that. They're much more catered as friends. Do subscribe, click that button, follow me on my Instagram please, Murad_Muradi. Please subscribe, and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.